So this one is Andrew Baldridge, Salt Lake City. Let me read his little feedback thing here. I first focus on how to improve the quality of my scenes and get a job as a level artist or a junior level artist. Okay, let's get started here. "269. What's up, man? How you doing?" Okay, so this guy, Mr. Andrew, he is, let me double check, make sure here. So I'd like to focus on presenting when going for a terrain artist position. So a terrain artist position is a very specialized position. I don't think there's actually very many people that are in that position, because like a studio will maybe need like 2. I don't know. A lot of the terrain work is done automatically depending on what studio you're at. That one's pretty old. So let's start here. So first of all, using World Machine is a good first start. Oh, look at these little details down there. Can we get a little bit closer? Yeah, so this stuff here, this is cool because you don't really see this type of detail with a lot of people just like, oh, this is my World Machine scene. Like it looks like you're actually trying to portray certain elements. Like this is where like water pools up and then it freezes over when it gets really, really cold during the winter. Yeah, you've got it kind of scattered throughout. That's pretty cool. So this one's pretty strong. I think looking at reference and understanding where the snow builds up and like what would be happening here is probably what's missing currently. This is 3 months ago, so it's not too long ago. But yeah, the fidelity of the detail in this area. Look at reference for the types of mountains you want to create and then see what's happening here and see what you're missing. Vestmore, dude, thanks for the host, man. Super appreciated. Yeah, I think this is arguably the most people we've ever had in the stream, so thank you very much. I'll be sure to check out. All good, mate. I'll be sure to check out your channel and see what you're up to. I don't recognize your name, sadly. So, metal foil insulation. That looks like it can insulate a thing or two. Got the nice little spaghetti breakdown. Man, I need to get me some more substance action. So for people that aren't familiar, boy, what's up, man? So for people who aren't familiar with this, this is Substance Designer, and they're using this. Andrew, artist here, is using nodes of patterns to create shapes and essentially end with this result. So this is all being made with nodes instead of being manually drawn out or sculpted and then baked down. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. So overall, the materials on this look pretty cool. I would like to see some more details that help imply as to how things are put together, like understanding how this is connected to this. Are these bolts, like what do these do? Are these pushing into the fabric? Are they actually holding it down or pushing into the foil? A tactical decision. Tactical raid. I really like the roughness difference here. It's like some type of padding that's protecting. I'm assuming it's some type of protection for like how this is all connected together. But again, like adding bolts and details in this area specifically will give you that nice balance of like high frequency detail and then the rest being areas of rest. So like if this pattern was tiled twice more, like 2 times more, so that it's not so like noisy, you'll get that opportunity for these areas to have rest and then these areas where you're expecting the detail to be. Yeah, let's keep going forward. So this one looks pretty cool. There's definitely, I have not played with instant, is it Terra? Like terrain? I've not played with it before, but it looks pretty promising. So this looks pretty cool. I think where it's getting a little odd is in the layering. I think when you post these, I'm just going to scroll through this really fast. When you post these pieces, oh, I remember this in the Discord. Hey, Side Effects, how you doing? When you post these types of pieces, it would be really nice to have reference along with it so we can see like where the details were coming from. Because like this area right here is super nice. Feels really good. But then like those striations keep going all the way up. And I think as you go further and further up, you're going to get the breakdown of the rock is going to be more and more. Like the erosion is at its peak up here, right? And all of that has fallen down here. So what is going on up here is probably going to be a lot more broken up. So like this area here is also really nice. And then how this area is formed feels semi-unnatural. So understanding like how this is all put together is going to be pretty important, I think. Oh, I think we're doing pretty well. It's Thursday, man. You know what that means? That means tomorrow is Friday. And that means it's relax time. You love watching this stuff? Oh, man. I love that you like coming in here, dude. That's cool. So this one looks pretty cool. It looks like, I could be wrong, maybe there's reference in the back, or it's just the other material in the distance. This may be the HDR as well. So this looks pretty cool. I think where it's breaking down is up close. Detail-wise, it's quite low res. You're rendering it in Marmoset Toolbag, it looks like. So if you can get a detail normal in there, and that'll really help like sell the fidelity. I will emphasize detail normals here in a second. I'll get Unity loaded up and I can talk more about it. Because like right here, there's pretty good detail. But it's like as you get really close to it, it just breaks down. The fidelity. The fidelity. Albedo is also maybe lacking a little bit. Like it could use some more information maybe in the crevices where like either smaller rocks are forming or things have built up like dust and sand from the erosion process. Yeah, let's see if we can't get some. I'm like waiting for it now. Oh no. Oh, what have I done? Hang on. There you go. Okay, there it is. Hey, Unity. Nice and white screen, blinding everyone. That's cool. Okay, so where are we at here? So we'll dupe this and move this out here. So this piece, right? When I baked this out, let's just go into the shader and we'll zero out the detail normal. So when I baked it out, it looks like this. So you can see like as you get close, it melts like almost immediately. Nice job, Chris. Good job, man. It was my voice that calmed you through the... I could pull through. So the fidelity is pretty soft here, right? Now by adding a detail normal, which is just a tileable normal, like this one here, and then tiling it a couple times over inside of the material, like let's just put it at 1. So you can see already there's a lot more information going on there. Let's remove these. So there's a lot more information going on there. When you tile it more and more, it starts to imply a lot more detail at like no extra cost other than the fact that you are using another normal map, right? So like if this was huge, if this was like, if a character was like this big, obviously this is too low res of a bake. You're going to have to add like little props and stuff here to make it work. So like, let's say there's a little fire here. Let's just do this. We're doing it. Let's say there's a little fire here, little rocks and stuff. And you got your dude and he's like just chilling here and he's like, yeah, no, I'm strong. He's like flexing his arm. You got to make sure that the detail of the ground is high res enough, right? So for example, if we start tiling the detail normal super high. Nice fire, dude. Hey. So see how I've tiled it 15 times? The fidelity of the surface is high enough that now it's kind of possible. Like, obviously, you're going to need to support it with other props and stuff like that. But see, if I go back here, it's all relative. Like, now I'm back here, and it doesn't really look all that great. So you just bring these back down. But yeah, so detail normals, super important for getting these type of details to hold up close. came from came for the critique of work, stayed for the stick figures. That's what I look like when I flex. It's just like I flex and my arm just detaches somehow. Like, oh my god. So I think, let me see here. So there's a few more here. So this already looks really interesting. This type of erosion is very specific to a type of rock. That type of rock, I'm terrible at understanding. Canyons. That's about all I see. Canyons. That's it. That's all I got for you. Now, this just tells me that the type of rock is very hard to erode, and it's over time that the erosion is starting to be able to break through the shapes that are holding up so well. That's why you get these like really small slivers. So specifically in this type of rock, you're going to see the layering much more clearly, and then it's the sand that's breaking down and spilling into these. This type of sand here, or the dirt that builds up at the bottom, they call it scree. The technical term is scree. It's basically when rocks break away and chip off over time, the erosion and all that jazz happening. That material has to go somewhere, and it goes to the bottom, which builds up, and it's this scree skirting. What's going on here? Was that the asset that you baked into Houdini? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. In general, though, this looks pretty interesting. I think as far as like terrain goes, I mean, it looks interesting to me, and I like the differences in like in the albedo, because then it shows like sediment flow, and like, see, this lighter stuff is actually physically lighter than the darker stuff, so it's flowing with where the rain would fall and like carry the sediment down into the stream or lake or river. I really need scale, I guess. I think if you want to be a terrain artist, hey, Advisable Pog, what's up, man? Thanks for the tier 2, dude. Super appreciated. I think for you to want to be a terrain artist, you're going to have to push yourself to use the terrains that you're generating and build a scene with them. It's totally okay to go on the store, like the Epic store, and buy kits, or like prop kits that, I mean, they're even giving away free ones quite often. So like taking those and just building like a desert scene, and then using a bunch of props and saying, I did the terrain for this. I want to be a terrain artist. Like that'll go a long way. Ooh. Oh, I like this. Oh man, I actually don't think I've seen this type of material very often. And the fact that you're transitioning it where you can see the wood cooling, and like, oh man. Yeah, that's pretty sick. I think the way that it's kind of like dancing around could maybe be tiling a little bit more, like the pattern that's kind of breaking it up, just so that you get a little bit more of the crackling feel. And I think going over the top is just getting a little bit of particles coming off, little embers and stuff, just to help with your presentation. This is a cool, this is freaking, yeah, this is dope. This is dope. And then the snow drifts. So with the snow drifts, being really careful about these hard edges. Again, I think I need reference in order to see where you were trying to achieve things and where they were breaking down, because these hard edges feel weird to me, but maybe in the reference they're very clearly there, and then I'd be like, oh, I see what you're doing, and you executed it exactly how you were trying to. Having these little pieces of like, I'm assuming these are harder pieces of snow that are blocking the rest of the snow from blowing away when it's windy is causing these trails. So that's kind of cool looking. Either that or they're like actually walking. You ever see those walking stones? Freaking weird, man. Yeah, the Paragon kit is freaking ace, man. They gave out all their assets. All that stuff's free. Stupid amount of content. Use that. And I think that's it from you. Yeah, I would love to see your scenes in context. If you want, you could start partnering. Thank you for the follow. Is it Nor? If you want to, I would take your terrain and work with other artists that need terrain, and just start that type of co-op work where an artist gives you a scene, you give them terrain, and then they work with that, and then they give you feedback like, oh, I need it to do this and need it to do that. Then you start getting that type of iteration that actually occurs in the workspace quite often, where it's like, I need this area to be flatter. You're like, well, how do I do that? Because all this stuff is always so, organic and naturally forming. It's like, how do I bend the tool to my will so that I can create a flat area so that this guy can make his level? Super important. That's the stuff, man. All right, I'm going to be right back, and then we're going to get to the Discord critiques. We ran a little bit over, so Discord critiques are going to be about 40 minutes long, and then I will be gone for the week. Don't forget, there's an Instagram. We get 3 posts a week, and then there's a YouTube channel where all of this stuff gets pushed to VODs that are 4 times a week. So I stream twice, 4 videos posted throughout the week from the stream. All right, be right back.